to a new series dedicated to the public sector, federal, state, local law enforcement. My co-host, Joseph Tarpley, is a former law enforcement and now a financial advisor serving each of you. And Joseph, I want to welcome you in, and thanks for co-hosting this channel.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you having me.
So this is our introduction to the channel and the broadcast. Upcoming episodes are going to get into the details of benefits, what's going on in the world right now, and how you help these very important occupations across the country retire, review benefits, and help with overall financial planning. You have a unique story because you are former law enforcement. Can you give the audience a little background on those years of service, and then we'll get into what transitioned you into financial planning?
Yes, sir. I started off in the prison system working with, well, as a prison contracted to Homeland Security, to ICE, and I spent about 2 years there working.
Okay.
We worked with mostly people who had committed felonies or things that had finally served out their time or being deported, and we were stationed where we held for people who were going under, like, say, legal review for deportation status and things like that. It was located in a little bitty town in North Louisiana, and then after I left there, I went to work as a police officer in a little bitty town called Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Okay.
I spent 2 years there as well, working with, as far as not in Natchitoches, there's a university there, so not only did we work in tandem with the city, but parish and state affiliate police officers who have to be stationed on campus with there, so to call the campus police. And so we worked, kind of had to abide by the rules and laws through all of that, not just one locale.
Gotcha. And so with that experience, how did that lead you into serving law enforcement as an advisor now?
Well, transitioning into financial advising and planning and everything, I saw that most people that I speak to in the industry really don't work with a lot of law enforcement or people who work in corrections and such forth, as that. And so I thought to myself, with my background and all, I can relate with people, knowing not just the law enforcement side of the business, but also with financial planning. I understand that many people, especially nowadays, are seeking to look at retirement, at least with the kind of state of the country that we have. And so I hope to be able to provide service for law enforcement to as far as planning and for finance, but also for their legacy, for their for their loved ones and spouse and everything like that.
Right. So most law enforcement have forced retirement, early retirement, correct?
Yeah, federal and law enforcement will have to retire by 57 if they
Okay.
if they haven't reached their when they reach that age, and so it gives them a kind of a window of time to work, in that, and some are able to get extended time after for to continue working. But yes, it's definitely a mandatory retirement age of 57.
And so that leads to, okay, so you're not qualified for Social Security yet. Is there a supplement? What do you do with your retirement? A lot of planning issues come up at that time.
Yes, 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 indeed. It's unlike normal employees, you know, in the workplace, private or, you know, federal, state, or local. A lot of people, except, you know, with a few exceptions, usually start looking at retirement for, say, 62 when Social Security comes in, you know, when you first qualify for Social Security. And so with, you know, with law enforcement individuals, that, you know, from 57 to 62, you got that 5-year gap where you have to kind of figure out what you want to do. And there are provisions provided for for these employees, but it can get complicated in the process because, you know, normally people take advice from coworkers or, you know, their neighbors or friends, somebody down the street, but those, you know, those rules and regulations don't necessarily apply all the time to law enforcement. And so that's kind of what I hope to do is help, if anything, an educational for an educate for educational purposes to help people in law enforcement to maximize their benefits as well as understand what options they have when it comes to retirement.
Well, and that's exactly why we put this channel together. So, how do those attending, how do they get a hold of you if they have questions, if they'd like to review their pension, their TSP or 403B, 401k? How do they get a hold of you?
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, I have a toll-free number I can be reached at. The number is going to be 866-419-2263, and I will be at extension 702. I can be it reached. Email address is going to be joseph.tarpley, Tarpley, at roedgeragency.com. That's ROSIER agency.com. And or I can be reached at the Joseph at govresources.com.
And so next week, the audience should be looking for our second session to be uploaded. We're going to get into the discussion of early retirement because you're working with current law enforcement that is in that position, correct? That you're helping them go through. You have unique software that allows you to go through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have software that we're able to use that that's compiled with all federal, state, and local retirement plans, as well as the ability to calculate, you know, Social Security income earned as far as taking your pension and how much leaving to your survivor, and the all of the options that follow with that. And it creates a complete report of your finances that allows you to see in one document how everything will be affected in your retirement, whether it be if you're retiring early or later, staying over. Some people are able to stay over later, and it can be a beneficial or hurt them. And so, but this also includes any kind of mutual funds, money market accounts that you may have, any kind of and anything for your spouse as well, whether they be in private or the public sector.
Awesome. Very important information, and it's very timely, especially in this chaotic year we're in. So I want to thank you, Joseph, for dedicating the time to put this together and put this educational information out, and we look forward to upcoming episodes.
Yes, sir, Jeff. I appreciate you having me.
All right, this concludes our introduction. Look for episode 2 when we get into early retirement, mandatory law enforcement retirements, and what each of you need to do when you come upon that age with, you know, whether or not you're integrated with Social Security, how to best use your pension, what to do with your either TSP or 403B. We're going to get into all that. And so that's why Joseph's here. All right, this concludes our session, and we will be back with you next week. Thank you, everybody.